Hey guys, it's day 2 of my Plan-vember where I'm setting up my 2018 journal, my first journal of 2018, because I usually go through more than one. But I'm going to take you guys through the whole process. And yesterday we went through how to pick a notebook and some of the different options, and then I showed you the one that I picked and what I'm going to be using. So hopefully you have your notebook picked out. And I'm just gonna kind of give everybody a minute to pop in. You can go ahead and share with your friends now if you want them to join us in here. So what I did today was I went through and sorted out where I want my pages, and I'll kind of show you how I've done that and why I've done it that way. And then you can come up with your own order. And I'll even show you some of my pages from my past journals and maybe why I change things around and I'm doing things just a little bit differently. So if you are just joining us, go ahead and comment below and let me know where you're coming from and what your experience with productivity journaling is. So if you're brand new to this, please let me know. If this is old hat, then hopefully you learn some new things. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and get started while we're giving people just a couple more minutes to get in here. But I'm going to switch my tripod around here so you guys can actually see what I'm doing, which means I may not be able to read your comments while we're doing this, but that's okay. I'd rather have you actually be able to see what I'm doing. And hopefully this time you can actually read my words. Yesterday I had it all backwards and it was kind of weird, but hopefully this time you can actually, everything should be oriented the right way. Okay, so let's get started. So I've got my old stack of journals here, and I kind of went through them and just added some sticky notes to the pages that I wanted to keep, and went through, this was my whole stack for the year. So I went through 4 journals this year, 3 journals. I guess I went through 3 journals. I'm on my 3rd. Okay, so that's not too bad. But, and I sort of went through all of them because I changed things in each journal. And so I kind of just sorted through them and marked the pages that I really liked the way that they worked. And then I'll move those to the new journal. This was my 2017 goal page, and I created measurable goals and things that were maybe less measurable, but I really wanted to work on them anyway. So I went through and I marked all of these, and then I'll be moving a lot of these to my new notebook. So here's how I did that. I have my stack of Post-its here, and I just sort of went through real fast. In case you weren't here yesterday, this is the notebook I'm going to be using this year, just because I was excited to try it. It's a Scribbles That Matter notebook, and they sell them on Amazon, and it seems like it's going to be a good option. At least it's very comparable to the Leuchtturm notebook, which was this one, which is my first one for last year. So they're very similar, but the paper in this one is a little bit thicker, and so I'm looking forward to maybe having a little bit less ghosting with the ink, showing through the page. So so let's get started. So this one already has an index in it, so I didn't need to create one. So I just sort of left that as is. And the first thing I'm going to do is add just a little bit of doodle art in the beginning. I like the way that looks. See, I said that I was on my 3rd. Yeah, here's my 3rd journal. Okay. I like the way it looks to have just a little bit of art opening up in the journal because it's a nice way to start the year. So this is what I did last year. I'm originally from Colorado, so sorry, it helps if I put it, in the shot. So I drew this last year, and I was feeling really homesick for Colorado, and I drew this, and it's sort of, yeah, it's been a nice way to kind of just have a little reminder of home. And this is actually my current journal that I'm in right now. So I say I drew this last year. I drew it this year. I drew this a couple months ago. But so this is my current journal. And I'll be moving, something sort of along those lines to this one. I like the way that this is mirrored. I like having a whole year of months up front. Hi, Jessica. I like having a full view of the year right up front so that I never have to have a question about what day of the week something is falling on. It's just handy to have. I don't really do any scheduling on this page, but I like having it there. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing in this year's notebook. So I went ahead and put my Post-it there. And the next thing, I have my birthdays and holidays page, which I liked the way this one was laid out. So I'm going to go ahead and lay it out the same way in this one. So, and the reason I like doing birthdays and holidays up front before any scheduling pages is that I actually picture my migration going from, you know, things that don't change to things that may change, and down, you know, to more detailed spreads. Like my monthly is going to be more detailed than my future planning. My future planning will probably be more detailed than my holiday and birthday planning. So that's kind of how I work. So I'll have my birthdays and holidays here, and then I'll get into my long-term pages. My long-term scheduling, I use this column method, which I don't really know where it came from. I don't know how I ended up with this format, but it works really well for me. Somebody told me that it's the same format that they use in the Hobonichis, which are the Japanese planners, which I have not used yet, but somebody told me this is basically the same format that they use. And it works really well for me because I have a day, every single day of the year is marked on these pages. So I always have a place to schedule something if I need to. I don't ever have to worry that I haven't created that scheduling page yet, so you know I don't know where to put it. I always have a place to put things. So I'm gonna go ahead and repeat that. So the next 3 pages, I'll put 4 months on each page, and so the next 3 pages I'm gonna plan for my long-term scheduling. So that's that. Then from there, I can kind of create an overflow page for anything that might be coming up in 2019. We do have, in our family, we do have to schedule out for, you know, a long look at things sometimes. So I like having a page there where, this one's not very detailed. I'll stick all of 2019 on here. I'll probably have boxes for, you know, 1 box for each month of the year. And because I'm not going to have to do a lot of tasks. I'm not going to have to schedule out a lot of tasks like that, but I will have a few that I kind of might have to pepper in there, you know, where I know, oh, we're planning to go to so-and-so's house for Christmas in 2019, then I'll go ahead and schedule that in. So I have not used this before. I have not had an overflow area. This is something that's kind of new for me this year, but I'm hoping that it's going to help when I need to schedule something that I haven't had a chance to create a page for yet. Okay, the next thing that I'm gonna do is, this was a new addition in one of my last journals, and I went ahead and formalized my planning routine and created a little checklist for each month. I started finding that I've been journaling for about 1.5 years in this style, and I started finding that even after all that time, I would forget things when it was time to move from a monthly page to a weekly page, or you know, I just would lose track. So for me, it helps to have, I'm very checklist oriented. So this helped to have everything formalized. So I created my planning routine, and I can say annually I'm going to do this. At the end of the month, I'm going to do this. At the end of the week, I'm going to do this. Each evening, and so forth. And then on the journal checklist, this is sort of the same thing, except this gives me a place where I can look each month to say, you know, did I take care of all these things? Yes, I took care of those. And I also last year used a recurring task tracker, which, let me see if I can find it for you guys real fast. Okay. So, and I really liked this because it was things like, I need to give my dog her heartworm medicine. I need to give my kids haircuts. I need to reset my cell data. It's all those little things that happen at the end of the month that you start losing track of, you know, all those little things. So I didn't create a Post-it for this, but I think I'm going to go ahead and make one, because as I'm flipping through, I realized I didn't have that one, and I really liked having this to help me each month as I moved to a new spread. So I'm going to go ahead and create one for those. And then we'll see where we can fit it into the routine. So I'll make my Post-it, if I can find my marker. So I want my recurring tasks. And this was, the recurring task tracker was a little technique that I picked up from Kim at Tiny Ray of Sunshine. And I think, it's very simple. It's not anything that's, you know, it's not revolutionary, but it comes in really handy. So I think, where are we going to do our recurring tasks? If I move from planning routine to the journal checklist, I think we'll do recurring tasks right here. And then that will put a good end cap on any of my scheduling and planning pages. And then from there, I can move into, I can create some cool art, you know, a fun little page to turn the page and end up in 2018. And then I can do my 2018 goals. And then I'll move this to the next page, 2018 projects. And then I'll move to January. Okay, so that's part of why I do this post-it technique ahead of time, is because I can rearrange the way that I'm scheduling my pages, and I can, you know, change my mind about things. I can move things around. I don't do this throughout the whole journal, but for me, the early pages kind of set the tone for the way you're going to use your journal. So for me, it's really helpful to make sure that the early pages, the opening pages of the journal, are structured the way I want them. It keeps me from going nuts the rest of the year. So, okay, so I've got my, let's see how we did that. So I kind of flipped through this real fast, so I'll go back and show you what I'm picturing. So, so I go from my long-term scheduling pages, and then I have this little overflow area in case I need to have 2019 tasks. And then from there, I'm picturing that I'll have my planning routine and my checklist. So every single month I can come look at this, and then I can look back at my scheduling pages and say, okay, did I check this one? Yes, I did. Did I check this one? Yes, I did. Did I check birthdays? Yes, I did. And I can check it off. So that's how I'll do that. And then the same thing with recurring tasks. I can just turn the page and that'll be right there. So I like the way that ended up. I'm happy that we've put that there. So, and then I'll have a little opening page to kind of get me thinking about my goals for 2018. And I'll probably end up using both of these pages for goals. So, and then I'll have my big projects by month. So this will be where each month of the year, I'll have a little box, one for each month of the year, and I can assign big projects to a month. So I don't necessarily have to know the steps that are involved in that project. I don't necessarily have to know, you know, any of the specific tasks, but I do need to know that, you know, in March, I really want to work on website redesign, or in January, I really want to do a whole clean out of the house. I really want to, you know, declutter. So that way, at least I can kind of plan out some of my bigger goals and assign them to a specific point. That helps me not let goals fall by the wayside. So, and then from there, that's basically my last one. It's just planning big projects by month. And then from there, I'll just start with my January monthly page. And then that gets me right back on track for, you know, my regular journaling routine that doesn't necessarily involve a lot of long-term planning pages. Those are just going to be my regular pages. And I can go ahead and create, you know, task lists and collections and fun pages just sort of as they occur naturally throughout the journal. So that does it for my early page planning. But then I sort of am left with this one page that I know I want in the journal because I've used it in the past, but I don't really know where to put it. So I have important addresses. And in the past, I've put it in the front, in the very front of the journal, and I put it basically near my long-term planning pages. And for some reason, it felt awkward. As I was using the journal, it felt awkward to have to be flipping into very frequently used pages for a page that I don't really use that often, to be honest. I just like having, you know, important addresses so I never end up at the post office and I don't have someone's address. So I'm really bad at putting that stuff in my phone. I'm just not very digitally oriented. So I really need this in my notebook. So I think this year I'm actually going to do something different, which I don't often do this, but I'm going to put it in the back of the notebook because I feel like I'll be able to access it really quickly, but it won't necessarily get mixed in with all my scheduling pages. So this notebook has a pen test page at the back, so I'm not going to mess with that. I actually think that's pretty handy to have, so I'm not going to use that up for any other purpose. And I think I'm just going to put the important addresses right here at the back. And that way I can flip back to them when I need them. And I might have some phone numbers and things like that on this as well. So this will just be sort of a, you know, a handy reference page for me. And then I don't know if I'll put anything else back here. I don't often work from both sides of the notebook, but we'll see how it goes. Why not, right? So, okay, so I've got my pages all planned out and I feel pretty good about them. So now I'm ready to go ahead and start making pages. I'm not going to number anything yet because things may change as I'm creating the pages. I may end up moving things around. So I'm not gonna create any keys. I'm not gonna put anything in the index yet. I'm just gonna wait on that until the pages are actually created. So my first thing is a fun little doodle dashboard, and I'm gonna go ahead and create that today with you guys. I haven't really planned anything, but I sort of don't like planning that type of stuff. I would rather just do it on the fly and have a little fun with it. So let me find my circle maker real fast. So I really enjoyed having a little circular doodle. I like the way that looks. So I'm gonna grab a pencil and get that done. All right, here we go. I don't really think it matters what kind of pen you use for this, to be honest. I have my favorites, but I know other people prefer other types of pens. Gel pens tend to smear a lot. I'm just going to do my circle in pencil first because I want to make sure that I get something in here that I like. So I haven't decided on a word for the year yet, but I think for this year, my word is going to be gratitude. We have had a lot of blessings in our family this year, and I just really want to remind myself to be grateful for them. So I'm gonna go ahead and do just a little bit of lettering on here, I think. I'm not a hand lettering artist, but I enjoy it. I like to dabble in it, so we'll see how this turns out. And I really don't stress that much about mistakes. I know I'm kind of a perfectionist, but I'm trying to be a little bit looser about this stuff. So if I make a mistake, I'm just gonna roll with it and let it be, because I don't really think it matters that much. And if I let myself worry about mistakes, I'll never get anything done. So there, I've got a fun little word here. Okay, I've got that, and then I'm just going to go back and kind of darken these up a little bit. If you have not ever taken the plunge into any kind of hand lettering, I actually think it's a really fun way to express yourself in a journal. You don't really need to be, super professional about it. You don't have to make it, this big stressful thing that you have to practice all the time. It can just be like a fun little thing that you do just to make your pages a little bit more cheerful. And there are a lot of really talented lettering artists out there. My favorite, just because I know her, is Dawn Nicole from Dawn Nicole Designs. I met her when we were living in Alabama. I met her through my friend Alicia, my dear friend Alicia, who may or may not be watching. I don't know. She does her own Facebook Lives. But anyway, so Dawn kind of introduced me to this whole hand lettering thing, and it's been a lot of fun, actually, just to dabble with. So there, I'm pretty happy with the way that looks. It's not perfect, but it's, it's fun, and it's a nice reminder to be more grateful. So that's going to be my word for the year. Okay, and then I'm going to maybe add some flowers around it, which I like the way that looks too. So again, I'm not really going to do anything really structured here. I'm just going to kind of see how it flows. I'm not crazy about that pen though for this. So I think I'm going to use this Tombow number 3. So I just got these Tombow mono drawing pens, and I really like them. It's a water-based pigment ink marker, and I'm really happy with the way that it goes onto the paper. It's very smooth. So and it's got a tip really similar to let me think. The Faber-Castells. The tip is really similar to the Faber-Castells, but I find those dry out. Like if I don't use them for a second or two, they start feeling really dry. So these ones don't do that. So okay, I guess I'm gonna start with a sunflower. about here. And again, I don't really care if they're really realistic. I'm just having fun with it. This is something that really relaxes me too. And I've heard that from a lot of other people who journal, is that the doodling is almost therapeutic for them. So this probably isn't something that I would do if I'm in a hurry. That's for sure. This is more something that I might do like at the end of the night when my husband and I kick back to watch TV, and then I might you know, break out my pens and bring my journal over and just doodle a little bit while I don't really have much else to do. So I know there's that constant, people tend to try to balance the productivity aspects of this type of journaling and the creative aspects. And I sort of think you don't really have to worry too much about fitting into one category. You know, you don't have to say, you know, you don't have to feel like you have to pick a team, whether you're a minimalist journaler. You don't have to really pick a team. Just go with what feels natural for you. And again, this is just something fun to do with your time. You don't have to worry about whether or not you're an artist. You don't have to worry about what anybody else thinks. You just kind of go with it and have fun with it. So there. Okay, so I've got this pretty sunflower that I'm gonna have here in my mix, and I think I'll have a couple of vines that sort of snake around with my lettering here. Sunflowers don't have vines, but who cares? Doesn't matter. This is my world. I can do what I want here. So, okay. And I'll just add some little flowers there. And then if you want, you can come back and, you know, color your doodles with color. I sometimes do and I sometimes don't, just because I like the black and white aesthetic. I like the way that looks. It has kind of a nice soothing, calming effect when it's just black and white. But the color can also be nice to infuse a little bit of energy into whatever you're doing. So, and I drew this circle kind of as a guide, just to give me a place where I sort of want my flowers to fall, and I'm just gonna erase that line at the end. So I'll probably have some flowers that sort of cluster down here, and then I might have a few that make their way up to the top of it. That's just sort of what I'm envisioning right now. But like I said, I don't really have a solid plan for this. It's just supposed to be fun. It's just, we'll see how it turns out. Sometimes if I plan things, they don't go my way, and then I feel like it's somehow a failure. But when you don't really have a plan, you get to kind of see where things go and just let it be relaxing and let it be enjoyable. Doodling is just not something I'm gonna stress over. That's just not an area of my life I'm gonna stress about. So, so I'm starting this early this year because last year, when I did my planning, my goal planning and stuff, I ended up kind of throwing it together because I realized, oh my gosh, it's halfway through December and I haven't done any goal planning for the new year. So I sort of threw it together really fast. And this year I really wanted to take just a little bit more time to plan out my goals for the year and have my journal ready. But again, that's just how I like doing things. You don't have to start in November if you don't want to, but I think it's nice to start early, and then you don't have to worry about it later on. You can just focus on the holidays and know that your goals for the year are taken care of. So, okay. And I am going, let's see what time it is. If you guys have any questions, you can put them down below. I know right now, since I'm drawing, I'm not checking the comments as much, but I promise when this is all over, I'll post the video and I'm gonna go through and I'll actually answer your questions. So don't feel like your question isn't gonna get answered. Hi Gina, how are you? And Amy, don't worry, I was late this morning too. I said I was gonna start at 10:30 and then it was a little bit after that, but that's okay. Because we're just hanging out. We don't have to worry about, we don't have to make it super structured, right? Right. All right. I wish you guys could talk back to me, because right now I'm sort of filling the silence with my own voice. I wish you guys could like shout out questions to me. Wouldn't that be nice? I don't know how we'd keep people from talking over each other, but, you know, in my mind, that sounds like a good idea. Maybe somebody should start inventing that. Not me, because I'm not a techie, but somebody should invent that. Okay. All right, so that's starting to look pretty good. It's starting to take shape. I really, like I said, I don't worry whether flowers occur like this in nature. I just sort of go with it. Whatever the line, however I want the line to go, I just kind of let them flow. And for me, this is, I love creating this at the very beginning of a journal because it just gives it makes it a fun space. You know, you end up, if you use a journal as your planner, you end up spending a lot of time in it. You know, and it sort of becomes like a room in your home. And I just, you know, it's a lot more fun if it looks the way you want it to look, if you have fun decorating it and making it beautiful, making it a fun place to be. So, have you guys started your journals yet? Anybody? Comment below and let me know if you are starting a new journal for 2018 or if you're continuing with the old one. I know I got a question yesterday from Miss Gina. Sorry to call you out there, Gina, but I'm going to anyway. And she was asking about, can you start over in the same journal if you just started? So she just started a few weeks ago even, maybe. I don't know. She didn't start very long ago. So she has this awesome new notebook and she doesn't want to see it go to waste. So she was wondering, like, how do you start over for the new year in the same notebook? And I actually did that last year. So I'm going to take a break from my doodle here. And I'll show you guys what I did last year. So I actually had a notebook run out on me at the end, like in November. And I was really bummed about it. I guess I didn't plan it very well. But, and so I had to start over. You know, I had to have January and then I really wanted a clean break. So this is what I did, was I ended up just continuing all of my December stuff and then created like a little break, created a little dashboard and just acted like whatever, this is a brand new journal. It doesn't, you know, I'm not going to let it bother me. I did continue with the same index. So I didn't redo my index. But I definitely could have like blacked out one line and indicated that there was a clear break. Like everything after this is going to be, you know, 2017. But I didn't do that. I just kept my index going. If I had wanted, I guess I could have done an index in one of these pages, but I just kept it going. But that's an option. So hopefully that answers any of you guys who have just started a new notebook and now you're facing, you know, you're going to have a half empty notebook at the new year. I have a huge stash of notebooks, so it doesn't really bother me to start over and have a few blank pages in an old one, but it is somewhat wasteful, so I probably should try to use up those pages, huh? This year it's going to work out really well because I'm halfway through the notebook I'm in right now, and I think I'm going to end up running out of pages right as it's time to move over to my January notebook for 2018. So, and I do go through a few each year, but, you know, it works out well for me. So, okay, I think I need some little leaves in here. Okay. All right, let's see. Oh, Heather's here. Hi, Heather. It's getting really warm at my house and I don't know how to feel about it. It was really cold the last couple days and I was loving it because I got to huddle inside and, you know, light the pilot light in the fireplace and have a fire, and now it's getting hot again and I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I'm okay with it. Here, let's do some little floating petals that come out like this. Okay. And I guess I'll do some climbing vines. And we'll just do like some little flower clusters here. what do you guys like drawing? Like if you're gonna draw something, what's your go-to? I know for some reason mine is flowers, and I don't really know why. I'm not particularly oriented towards flowers. I can't really grow anything. I sort of have a brown thumb, so I buy flowers when they're in the pot and I bring them home and they die. But I guess I buy flowers, but I don't know. But for some reason they're really relaxing for me to draw. I know some people like drawing patterns, like mandalas, just regular, you know, everyday doodles. Some people like doodling everyday objects, but like phones and scheduling things and stuff like that. I don't know. What about you guys? Stickmen, Amy. I love that. I think that's adorable. I think when I was younger, we used to make those Stickmen flip books. And what do you guys think? That's starting to come together, huh? I'm happy with it. So yeah, we used to do those little Stickmen flip books, and they had little, you know, they would do like simple little tasks, like bend over and pick up a penny or something like that. But okay, so that's a lot of fun. And then I think I'm gonna let there be some negative space over here. And so here I'm just gonna do a little daisy cluster. I love daisies. I think daisies have got to be my favorite flower. They're just cheerful, happy and casual, unpretentious. Okay. So we'll do some daisies up here. I know one thing that kind of trips people up when they're drawing in ink is that they'll try to draw their background first, and you need to draw the foreground first, because obviously if you try to draw the background first, anything that goes over it is going to have lines going through it. So just remember that whatever you draw first is going to be in the front of your picture. It seems like it's common sense, but you'd be surprised when people first start drawing. They don't really know. They don't know to think about those things. It's just not something that really occurs to you. No, again, not that I'm a great artist or anything, but I have fun with it. I think if people only drew or, you know, played music or painted or did any of those things, if they were great at it, nobody would ever do it, because no one starts out as great. Sometimes you just have to do things for the pure joy of it. I'll stick some round ones in here too, some little rounded leaves. Okay, and then I'm going to create some big leaves coming out here. See, and this is what I mean. So I drew this little flower, and now my leaf is going to have to go behind it because there's no place else for it to go. Okay. Okay. Oh, my phone is going to die. Okay. We'll be able to finish some of this before it does. Okay. All right. So, again, it's not high art, but it's something that gives me something fun to look at when I open my notebook. And I think this one I will come back in color. But for right now, I'm just going to let it kind of be. I don't want to overdo it. I do sometimes get carried away with these, especially like these little floral things with vines. You know, you just kind of want to keep going. So you keep drawing and drawing, and then before you know it, the whole page is just covered. And it's maybe not what you were going for. So, you know, I try to step back every few minutes and just kind of take a look at it. Okay, so part of the reason that I'm doing this live with you guys instead of, I mean, I very easily could film it and then fast forward it and stick it on YouTube, but part of the reason I wanted to do it live is that I think sometimes people get a distorted impression of you know, how long these things take, because they see it really fast and they go, oh, I can do this in 5 minutes. And they don't think about the fact that actually somebody sat there for 45 minutes drawing it. And then they expect to be able to draw something in their journal in 10 minutes that looks the exact same. And when that doesn't happen, they get discouraged. So I kind of wanted to go through this in real time with you guys, just so you can see that the art does take time and you don't have to worry about it. If you don't want to do the art, you don't have to. This is just supposed to be fun. So, you know, if things don't come really quickly, there's no reason to give up. There's no reason to feel like you aren't doing it properly or something like that. You know, just have fun with it. And if that's something you want to put your time into, then put your time into it. And if it's not, then don't. You know, you don't have to. I think sometimes people get locked into this idea that, well, if I'm going to do it, I have to do it right. I have to do it, you know, this way because so-and-so does it that way. Well, no, you don't. Just do it your way. And if you want to draw, draw. And if you don't, if you want to be minimalist, just be minimalist about it. So, okay. So that is going to be my word of the year page. I think I'm going to stop there. And then I might, in a couple days, I'll make a decision about whether or not I want to add any color to it. But for right now, I'm actually really happy with the way it looks black and white like this. So I'm going to fill in my sunflower just a little bit more to give it a little more dimension. Okay, and that's it. That's my little doodle page. So then tomorrow when we come back, I'm going to go through, I'll do the, oh, Amy said she bought stencils because she can't draw. That's awesome. I think that's just fine. There's just no reason to do it by hand if you would rather do it with a stencil. So like I said, for me, this is really relaxing. If it's not, if it's frustrating for you, then don't do it. It's just that simple. So, okay, so tomorrow when I come back, I'm going to draw my year at a glance calendar with you guys. And this is one that's very simple. It's very easy to do. I'll show you what that looks like. And this was one, I think this is a 2017 one. Yeah, it is. But, and I copied it from an old journal because I was moving mid-year, and I just photocopied it and stuck it in here. Like there was just no reason to draw it again by hand. So you can definitely do that. If you want to move pages from an old journal, you can just photocopy them and paste them in. You don't have to do it again by hand, and it saves you tons of time. But this is 2018, so I am going to have to draw a new one. And I'll show you. For some reason, these give people a lot of trouble getting them centered. And everybody wants one of these pages, but a lot of people have a hard time drawing them for some reason. So I'm going to go through how I do it so that you don't have any awkward you know, overlapping of months, or, you know, you have a month that ends up kind of off center. And it's very simple to do, but all you have to do is just do a little bit of counting ahead of time. And that's all. So I'll do that tomorrow with you guys, and then we'll keep going through my setup. If you have any questions, go ahead and stick them down below. I am going to create a section on my website for you guys on pageflutter.com. I'm going to create a section for just these videos, and underneath the video I'll have links to the things that I might have mentioned. So yeah, anyhow, so tomorrow I'm kind of sticking around 10:30 for these. I'm trying. That's my goal. I'm going to try to do it around 10:30 just because it works well for my schedule. I may move that around a little bit depending on what's going on with my kids, if I can't get them settled so that they don't come in here every 5 minutes when we're live, but around 10:30. If you can't make the live session, don't worry, because like I said, I'll be saving the video and posting it on the website, and I'll post it on my Facebook page as well. So yes, Amy, day one is, it should be in my Facebook feed. So if you scroll down in the feed, you should be able to find it there. And then I'm gonna save those videos and I'll stick them on a section of the website so that it's a little easier for you to find. I don't want you guys having to scroll through the Facebook page all the time to find them. So there will be a section that has all the videos listed by day, and then and any of the products that we mentioned, or any links to any resources that you guys might need. So if you have any questions about anything, please feel free to drop your comments below, and I will make sure that I answer them as we go through this. So that's it. I'm gonna move this back so I can actually say goodbye to you guys. All right. So hopefully, somebody tell me, was everything oriented the right way? You guys could read the words, right? Because yesterday it was all mirrored, and my friend kind of came in and was like, "Hey, let me show you how to do this. You know, you techie weirdo, you don't know how to do anything." So anyway, she showed me how to flip it. So hopefully you guys could read the words. But that's it for today. I have to run because my husband's been out of town, and I have to go pick him up from the airport, and I'm excited to see him. So that's it. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully, make sure you share with your friends. so that we can get more people in here and bring more ideas, and people can, oh, blondes rule. Thanks, Amy. Thank you. I was red for a while, and then I went brown, and now I'm back to my natural-ish color because it was just too hard to keep up with any other color. So anyway, yeah, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow at 10:30. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.